Sir, good morning, and thank you for your time here. What do you make of this, and how strong do you think the card that you're playing could be?
Well, I think particularly as the American people see the complete lawlessness at the southern border and the way in which it affects not only border states, border districts, but districts like mine. I'm way up there in Wisconsin. When we talk about the border, we're usually talking about Canada, but we have crime directly related to lawlessness at the southern border that's claimed lives in my district. We have massive problems with fentanyl that's killing people in my district. So I think we are on the right side of this issue. It's just common sense. We have to have operational control of our southern border. And the fact that we don't, the fact that this administration has embraced an open borders policy and in many cases has turned a blind eye to common sense positions like remain in Mexico, using physical infrastructure like a border wall, I think the American people just see the chaos that's creating, the human tragedy that's creating. So we have to stand strong. Securing the border is the right thing to do for the defense of our country, for the well-being of our citizens. And at the same time, we need to send a message to people that want to come here legally that that's the right way to do it, not incentivize people coming here illegally.
So in a negotiation like this, you wouldn't get everything that you want, but what specifically would the Republicans demand be in a bill if they were to vote for the government funding?
I think remain in Mexico policy is on that list. I think more funding for the border wall is on that list. Maybe we can insert into that list that members of the Biden administration just start telling the truth about the border, right? The vice president was on TV the other day saying, despite the fact that we've had 2 million people come here illegally in this fiscal year alone, including 78 suspected terrorists, that the border is secure. Just be honest with the American people. So part of the strategy here is just to force an honest discussion about the problem that we're facing at the southern border, as well as highlight some of the more radical positions that the Democratic Party has right now. There's still a faction that wants to defund ICE, and that is a crazy, crazy position to have.
Wanted to get your comment on another topic here. This is a big deal overseas. You know what's happening in Putin in Russia and Ukraine, etc. John Kirby was with us yesterday on our set here in New York, and we asked him the question that seems to be rather apparent, and that is this. Watch. Are we effectively at war with Russia?
No, we are not. Not at all. Russia is at war inside Ukraine. And despite the rhetoric we heard from Putin last night, trying once again to make this about the West versus Russia, or the United States versus Russia, or NATO versus Russia, nothing could be farther from the truth.
So when you woke up yesterday and you heard about the threat about nuclear weapons on behalf of Vladimir Putin, what did you think as a member of the military yourself?
Well, I think Putin is obviously trying to blackmail us. He's trying to intimidate the West. And I think the president missed a massive opportunity to clearly signal that if Putin were to take this step, this massive escalatory step, that NATO would respond very forcefully. And I think sending that clear signal actually gives us the best chance of deterring nuclear escalation. Time and time again, this administration talks itself out of taking the steps necessary to give the Ukrainians what they need to win. Right now, they're delaying the provision of certain weapon systems. The ATACMS are at the top of the list because they fear that this will be provocative. But it's the fear of provocation that I think is actually causing Putin to go further and further. So I was very disappointed that the president didn't take advantage of the forum he had at the UN. And of course, Putin is actually fighting two wars right now. There's the war on the ground in Ukraine, and then there's the broader commodity war where he's leveraging energy weapons against Europe. He's trying to control the Black Sea in order to control the grain trade. That's going to escalate going forward, and that's where we need a coherent energy policy, which this administration does not have. The president doubled down on his climate change agenda, which isn't working for Americans, at his UN speech, and that was very disappointing to see.
Congressman Mike Gallagher, thank you for being with us this morning and kicking us off on a Thursday. Appreciate it.